Leipzig couldn't do it, could they? Well, they think they can. It is 1-1, as Jim Proudfoot said, going into the second leg of the Champions League round of 16 match tonight at the Etihad. Manchester City strongly fancied by the bookies to do it, 3-10 on to put Leipzig out. Pep will be hoping that they do just that, of course, because he's been asked in the run-up to this one, did he accept that his Manchester City era is going to be defined by being a success in the Champions League? In other words, winning the thing.
That doesn't mean that we change it. I agree with that, but absolutely will be judged for that competition. Yeah, definitely. Because since day one arrived here in the first game in Champions League, they asked me when just arrived, landed here, sitting for the first time, you are here to win the Champions League. I said, what? So I was manager for Real Madrid, that this is not going to happen, but I could understand, but here, I don't know, but I accept it. So as much you go through, it's not going to change that, yeah, definitely.
I mean, do you think that's it, Simon? Like, when he comes and goes from Manchester City, after everything he's done, and of course, serial winner of the Premier League with Manchester City, unless he wins the Champions League with City, and he came damn close but lost out to Chelsea, unless he wins it, it will not be looked upon as a spell in his career that was fulfilled.
I think probably so. I think there's very little doubt that you can argue with that he has produced a fabulous Man City time during the 6 years that he's been here, that defied people's thinking about how you could play football in the Premier League and overcome what is considered to be a very difficult physical league that wouldn't allow for people to do what Man City have done. But it's like that Jerry Maguire moment, isn't it, when he talks to his wife and says it wasn't nearly quite as complete because I couldn't share it with you. Right? If he doesn't win a European Cup, he's going to have that, isn't he, on his resume, looking at the image of a European Cup and say, I couldn't share it with you. Champions League Cup, Champions League. Listen, he has to win this. He has to win it because he has the team, the resources, the support mechanisms and everything behind him to be able to achieve that. And there's been no great teams in English football that have dominated the English football and not won Champions Leagues. Liverpool did it in the 70s with the European Cup. Manchester United have done it as being the poster boys of the Premier League. And Man City need to do it. Arsenal haven't. So we can make a case for that particular situation, but they didn't dominate football for the significant period that Man City have done.
Sure.
You know, and so with all that in mind, I think it's incumbent upon him to deliver an outcome. I don't think you then take away and go, oh, what a terrible manager he was, because he's a remarkable manager.
Of course.
And I still don't. And the argument that, well, you can do it because he's got the best players. Try managing these buggers. It's a skill in itself. Just because you've got the best players doesn't mean that ultimately you can get the best outcomes from them, because they are what they are. They're independently wealthy young men now that can do what they want and often do. So it's a skill in its own right, managing the best players.
Well, they've got to get by Leipzig tonight. We'll see if they do 1-1 from the first leg of that one. And then, ironically, no PSG anymore for him to worry about. Barcelona are nowhere near the tournament. But Bayern Munich, the team he couldn't win the Champions League with in his spell there, might well turn out to be the biggest danger. We'll see.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.